Hi everyone, how are you? Excuse me. Today is Tuesday, and it's the first day of a series that I'm going to be doing, some live series. And it'll be twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday, or whatever, but close to that. And it's going to be about the midday time, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be talking about a series of lives. Introducing this series is basically changing the way you think about your kids, okay? Changing your thoughts about your kids and the way that you see your kids, to see them in a entirely different light. Some of it may be a little uncomfortable. Some of it may be like, yeah, right, that's nice, Jean. Yes, that's a dream world. But what about just hang with me and we'll cover those things. In fact, put those comments down below in the comment section. And after I share this to the group, inside the group, you can also, those of you who are watching from inside the Raising Kids Who Love to Read by Jean Harville Facebook group, you can also put comments in the group as well. Just so we have a sense, and I'll look both places at comments for on the page as well as in the group. So I wanted to get this series going. If you notice, I changed the banner up top there and talking about, just really finding your kids' zone of genius and helping them to be able to learn through that passion and help to motivate them. Because I get so many parents, and I get it because it's true. I've had conversations with parents talking about how their kids are not motivated anymore. They can read, they can do it, but they're not motivated, they don't want to. And of course, it's easy to say, well, it's the screens, it's the computers, that's getting in the way, and that's keeping them, it's not as exciting as actually learning. But there's actually something else that's involved that I've come across that I think that we can explore this and get an idea and actually get them back on the right track. You ready to go? All right. Excuse me. So I'm going to take you on this journey through thoughts and thinking of the brain, in your brain and your kid's brain as well. We're going to be talking about it over the next, month or so. And it'll be twice a week. Thinking about, and some of the thoughts may ruffle the feathers. It may be like, wait, that goes against what I've ever known about education. Yes, I'm going to be challenging the way you think about education, the way our school system is set up, and I'm going to be challenging the way your mother or your dad or your grandparents thought about the school system, because guess what? It needs to evolve. It needs to evolve. You probably can agree with that. But how do we do that, right? Right. So that's the journey we're going to go on, and we're going to go through that. Now, there was a quote by Naomi Scott Clark. Life is not happening to me. Life is happening for me and others, right? So life is happening for me and others. It's a shift. Instead of being on the victim mentality that life is happening to me, be on the proactive side of it, that life that is happening for me and others. And so I think just putting things in a proactive way, it really helps to shift the brain and shift your mind. So much of our thoughts are rewired in our brain and our subconscious from when we were young. And then our parents, it wasn't our parents' fault, because they were rewired from their parents and their parents. It's a generational thing that happens. And so, but guess what? We have the tools today, now, to rewire, to change some of our thought processes so that we can move forward and evolve and help our kids become more motivated in their learning. Sounds great? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to go back to a survey that I had done just after the Masterclass series, the Unleash Your Kids Masterclass series back in January, February, that one. And by the way, I'm going to be sending a survey for this current one that we just finished up. I'm going to be sending that in the mail, hopefully sometime this week. So you'll have a chance to answer some questions there as well. And I really would appreciate your input, because that's going to drive where we go with our program, okay? So from the survey earlier, like in January, February, my question was, what do you think is keeping your kid from being successful in school or in reading, right? Learning to read. Motivation, top thing. Motivation, procrastination, not interested, not loving to read, totally frustrated, focus, can't concentrate or focus, behaving, they can't behave correctly, dyslexic, ADHD, lack of concentration, lack of motivation, slow processor, hyperactivity, confidence, cannot self-regulate. What if I were to say that if we can get our kids on the right track, all of those fall by the wayside? Those are not the excuses for them to be able to learn. All right? So here's the next question. What are your greatest fears for your child? All right? And the answers were like, make him aware of how bad he's doing, make himself worse, feel worse about himself, not successful in school. This is a fear that parents were having, being behind forever and in all subjects. His confidence will drop even lower. They will lose interest in books and reading. Low confidence throughout all of life. They won't be able to hold jobs or go to college. Will not reach potential, their full potential. Not keep up in class. So their fear is that they would just give up altogether. Most important thing on here, mental development affected. It would affect their mental development. It would cause them to not be well, have that well-being. And that is super, super important. That is number one for our kids, that we can help them to maintain a good, healthy mental wellness. And that is so, so important in these days, because there's so many other things that can take our kids down if they're not feeling confident and feeling self-regulated in their own thoughts and their beliefs, right? And their feelings. They will dislike reading and give up. And they will be failing school, and they want to quit. All of those things that were mentioned would definitely cause someone to not feel confident about themselves, not feel good about themselves, and then it spirals like a big spiral down and to negative well-being, right? And so we can talk about mental illness. We can talk about, it's really, really important, and that's just becoming in the last 5-10 years, is the mental wellness of our kids. It's super, super important. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it a little bit. We're going to do the positive part here. Okay, like, what are your hopes and dreams for your child when they complete their formal education as we know it? Listen to these answers. I thought they were just really uplifting and motivated. And listen to how light and how positive that they are. People will write, they would find their unique way of success and enjoyment in reading books and feeling good about themselves. To be able to assist in society and feel comfortable enough with reading, writing, to pursue whatever they chose. To live a happy life. Doesn't that feel good? That they will feel intelligent, and that he gets a job in the area he chooses for himself. That he doesn't let his doubts stand in his way of his future education, whatever that may be. Confidence, aspirations, continued curiosity. To be successful in whatever they endeavor to do. Find a job he likes and loves, and be a responsible human being. Enjoy reading. To be happy and content, and also able to use proper language skills to express her emotions and knowledge in various ways, like speaking, listening, reading, and writing. To follow her passion and make it her inherent life mission. To never think of her calling as just a job. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that beautiful? To be able to do whatever they want to do without restrictions. To be happy, confident, content young man with the, I turn my page here, I had to write these out, with the necessary life skills and educational skills to succeed in his chosen career, whatever that may be. That academic struggles wouldn't hold him back. Useful to society. Be able to implement what they have learned and continue to learn throughout their lifetime. To get a good job and be happy. That he still loves to learn, and that he maintains his sense of playful curiosity. Use his creative skills to serve the community, and they can be productive, confident members of society. Interesting, right? Nowhere in those comments did it say they had to graduate their 4.0, summa cum laude, top of the class. Nowhere did it say that they had to have certain, on the dean's list, had to have certain standards of achievement in school. Nowhere. That was not that was not the top qualities that they were wanting their kids to have when they graduate from formal education. And I just thought it was so beautiful that parents really, really are wanting their kids to have that wellness, that well-being, that mental alertness about who they are and what they can do and how they can contribute to society. That's what it's all about. And that's actually what school used to be about. It's what education used to be about. And it used to be where it's preparation to be able to make decisions, to be able to live in society. But that's just not the way it is anymore. It's all about they have to get through this much material. They have to make these scores. It's all about accountability. And the poor teachers cannot teach. When I went into teaching, it's like, how joyful will it be to be able to impact kids, to really help them feel good about themselves, find out what they are good at doing, and to find their confidence and their motivation. That's not what education is now. And so I think that we as parents to stand up and say, okay, we have got to watch out for our own kids' well-being and their mental health. Okay, so what was mentioned here were the emotions that the kids would feel about themselves, who they are, how they can be productive. And it doesn't matter if they are dyslexic, have ADHD, have attention or focus issues or whatever. That doesn't matter. If we can shift the way our kids, who our kids are, and look at our kids in a different way, who they were created to be. And many of our kids who have all those labels, or if they have those labels or not, but they think and learn in a different way, and they were created that way for a purpose, because their brain has been created for that. We need their thinking, we need their forward vision that they have, and these kids have fantastic forward vision and where to take society and where it's going to go. They are our future. And I just firmly believe that when we get out of our own mindset as to what our kids are supposed to be achieving or what it's supposed to look like, when we do that and we can shift, and it's going to be difficult for us because our brains are wired in a way of the old school thinking, but there's a way that we can shift that and we can change it. Okay, so now that now that looking at education in a totally different way, and yes, we're stuck with what we have right now. Those of you that have chosen to homeschool, that's awesome, because you have the platform now where you and probably are already taking your kids into what they are good at doing, their passion, and teaching through that passion, and teaching and getting at what's going on with them, and still be able to get the academics, but get it through their passion, which I think is so important. And that's what homeschooling has above everything else. But I'm not promoting and saying everyone has to homeschool, because I know it is not good. For me, homeschooling was not an option, and I could have, but it wasn't an option because of my kids and myself, and the way that we were together. I don't know how to say, personality clashes, I guess, or whatever. They were very strong-headed and strong-minded, and they wanted to be in school, and that was great, and they did well in school. But homeschooling's not for everybody, and that's totally fine. Homeschooling, when it's a perfect match for you, that's awesome. That's totally fine. And I think that right now we're exploring education because it is different in 2020, right? Starting in March all the way through, and probably the rest of the school year, I'm assuming. I don't know. But I think that this is a prime opportunity for us as parents. If we have our kids half a day or doing home education, this is prime time that we can get in and we can work on the mental well-being of our kids, and that we can take a look at their passion. What is it that they want to do? What do they love to do? And to be able to feed their academics through that passion. I know the big how is coming out, like, how do I do that? Because they are supposed to have all these assignments done. They have to meet all these criteria, yes, we are bucking up against the way the system is because the system hasn't evolved yet. But as parents, we are in a position that if we can shift the way that we think, why can't we shift the way our education thinks? It's a big monster, and it's not going to change just like that. But if it's something that we can start talking about and start making that evolution our educational system, why not, right? It's already being done in England and in some other countries. So why can't we, step up as parents and say, look, things have to change, and it will take another 10 or 20 years probably, but why not, get started? So I'll get off my soapbox. Having been there as a special ed teacher, I totally saw the insides of what was going on, and I was just like, no, you're going to lose these kids. You really are going to lose them if you do not shift and change. So, but the thing is, it kind of passes the buck upwards. Okay, the teachers don't. It's difficult for the teachers because then it's the administrators. The administrators are being held by their bosses, and then what's holding them are the universities or the training centers of our teachers, of our administrators. We also have to go to the university level and shift the thinking of the training that's being brought down to who we are, who our teachers are. So it's a huge picture, and it's not something that's going to be easily done, but we can get started, can't we? Right? Okay, so just come along with me over the next couple of months on these lives, and let's explore what ifs and how this could impact our kids. And let's suspend reality and just step into that what if without analyzing or looking at how could this look, how could this work, right? And, because it's going to go against the way that we're used to thinking. Our brains are going to go, no, I'm going to protect you, because 90% of the time your subconscious brain is going to say, no, what are you talking about? That's crazy stuff you're saying, because that's just not the way it's done. So your brain's going to pull you back, and you're going to say, I'm going to keep you, the brain's going to keep you safe. And it's okay, because we need our subconscious brain to keep us safe. For if we're starting to step out in front of a car, it's going to go pull you back and say, no, don't step in front of that car. And that's a great thing. But when we're wanting to shift and change our brain, we have to rewire the thinking in our brains, because our brain's going to say, no, you fine. It's been fine for the last 1,000 years. We're going to continue the same way, and no one has told me differently that we're going to change the thinking, and that we're going to be thinking about education in a different way. So those are they're big, and they seem like big obstacles, but guess what? It doesn't take that. It's not that difficult to rewire the way we think as parents. And it's almost like it's difficult for the system to change because of all the hierarchy of things. But we as parents, as grassroots parents, can start stepping in there and start making those changes. Okay? So anyway, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna suspend that reality. We're gonna step into the what ifs, leave that how alone. Our subconscious brain's gonna say, what are you thinking? You are crazy nuts, right? But we're gonna work on that over the next month or so of lives. And we're going to, just come along with me with an open mind and a willingness to shift that perspective, and a willingness to see our kids in a very different way, a very different light. And you're going to start realizing and like, oh, kind of an aha type feeling. Okay. So I'm going to sign off for right now, and I'll see you guys on on Thursday. We'll have lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the midday time. And because I have meetings that kind of overlap kind of right at that noon time, so it's going to be kind of a shift between 11 and 1, having midday time. So anyway, I will see you all on Thursday, and thanks for watching. And if you have any comments, go ahead and write them. Hey, Laura, how are you? Yes, lots of shift have happened in thinking since the lockdown. Yeah, I know. The lockdown, in a way, you could look at it in a bad way, yes, but also let's look at the positive that could come out of lockdown. And I know that you're getting ready to homeschool, and so you're in a prime position to take some of this information and to think about your little girl in a different way, right? So I think that it's going to be very, very interesting. And so anyone who has comments, down below, you can put hashtag replay. down below. And if as you come back and you watch the video, either here or in the group, go ahead and just write your comments down. I'd like to kind of get an idea of how people are thinking. Like, ooh, this is too hard, too difficult, or yeah, let's move, let's go forward, right? And let's figure out how we can motivate our kids. And it can be just as simple as shifting our thinking. I know, it just seems kind of like it can be that simple, right? Okay, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll see y'all on Thursday. Bye-bye.